Ladies and gentlemen, two of the biggest players in the YouTube golf space and individuals connected to the Internet Invitational have reacted to everything that's gone on. I've talked about it, have given their full, unbridled takes, and we're going to watch through and react to a couple key moments. Now, two big podcasts that were put out recently, BobDoesSports on BobDoesSports podcast, talking about the Internet Invitational. Obviously, you had FP semi-involved in what went down with Paige and kind of those initial moments, but there's a very interesting take in that episode that I'm going to play for you. And then the second one is Good Podcast had Brad Dalke on and kind of did like a tell-all about the event. And there's a very interesting segment where both Garrett and Brad give their first real reactions to everything that went on, specifically, obviously, the Meloian situation. And then at the end of this video, I have updates for you on the Meloian situation. Not did he do it, did he not, any of that crap. That's all whatever. So I'm not talking about that anymore. But updates on his side of the story, when it's coming out, where. Got all those goods for you. So hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you tuning in, and let's jump right into it. So the first one we're going to watch is it's just a small segment from BobDoesSports podcast they put out earlier today. Everything you missed at the Internet Invitational. It's actually Benjamin talking about the event. And I just thought it was an interesting take that I want to share and react to. So let's jump into it.
Storm, like everybody posting about it.
This video is unavailable. No way. Did they take it offline? No way. Did they delete it? No way. Is this real life? Did that just happen? Did I just start the video and then they've taken it offline? Oh my goodness. I wonder if they said something. Maybe what I was about to show was like something they don't want. Okay. Well, so you can see this was up. This was 2 hours ago. I watched it this morning. Everything you missed at the Internet Invitational, BobDoesSports podcast. This, I think, means that they may have taken it offline. Okay, let's go check their episode. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is real time. BobDoes Secrets Revealed. Oh, they re-uploaded it. Oh, interesting. I wonder if they cut something out. Okay, well, I guess now I can't really. I'm going to try to see if I can find that segment here.
Way in the sense that the golf happened. Mention of how
the only thing I would say about that is, no, you are right. The Quan situation, obviously, it's long past. Oversleep, like people oversleep. We film sometimes, and like we filmed a couple weeks ago at Ballon Isles. I overslept. I was more annoyed that people were upset at you guys for not.
Okay, yeah, this is
waking him up as
that
if
was
like
crazy,
bro. As if you're like his mom, and it's like it'd be one thing if he had like told somebody, like, hey, I don't know if he did or didn't, but like, I came in from this flight. I oversleep. Wake me up for the thing. But I saw people were like, Bob didn't have his guys ready. It's like, bro, we're adults here. Like, just put the hand up. I overslept and move on. I think that was to your point. People were just kind of looking for things to just like nitpick and say. It's like, yo.
I wanted to highlight that real quick. There's another clip in here I'm going to have to go find because they deleted the episode on me and re-uploaded it. But that was one of the clips I wanted to show because I thought that was interesting. Personally, I saw a ton of those comments on my comment section about being like, well, the team should have taken accountability and Bob as the team captain should have made sure Luke was up. It's like there's also 24 other people on Bob's team, or 23, not including Bob. Like, he's not their mother. He's not their father. He's not their father figure. He's not going around and trying to like make sure these people are awake for their tea time for $1 million. So like, that was one of the takes on the whole Quan situation that I thought was just crazy. And it was interesting to hear them kind of reiterating that. I'm curious if there's anything in the comments about, sorry about the re-upload. We had issues with the initial export. Same episode as before. I wonder if it's like missing any time. Thanks for ensuring I wasn't losing my mind. Interesting. Okay. So I don't think they deleted anything from it. But there was another take from Jet in here. I wonder if I'm going to be able to find it. I might not be able to. It was just talking about the Mo situation. Jet kind of like ran the interestingness, in my opinion, in this, but let me see if I can find it from Jet. If not,
it's the craziest footage. Like, if this was the NFL, I don't mean like,
wow, like I'm good.
I still, again, like, if you really want to get into the weeds of it, I have not seen like proof that the slope was on. So like, I don't even. It's the craziest footage. Like, if this was the NFL, I don't think they'd be able to like overturn it.
Inconclusive.
Like, he mentioned, like there just isn't. He mentioned
the thumb thing though, when he slides, like people say,
but you don't see it. You don't. And then people were showing the range, showing this, showing that. At the end of the day, again, I know this was for money, and I don't like. People are upset about it, whether it's a rules infraction, or they think it is, or they just want to be angry. But they're just characters in the show, in the reality show that happened, and it
ended up providing entertainment for the people who are watching. It wasn't planned by any means. It just happened. And it's like, I don't think people need to overreact in the way that they are, in a way. I understand the rules and from the golf side, but it's, you know, I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about and to see the reaction. That's all I'm going to say.
Interesting take by Yams. Listen, I think this is, and they go on to push back, and then he kind of comes back, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but he kind of comes back and like refreshes what he's trying to say. But I think generally the reason why I wanted to show that and talk about that one clip, my goodness, in specific, absolute champion today, by the way. Like, come on, this is crazy. I got an episode deleted mid-review. I find the clips that I need to find. I'm sneezing. I'm just battling it, and I'm staying locked in for you guys. So that should say something about how much I love you. Anyway, I just think it's interesting because it is that duality that people weren't understanding between like what Barstool is and what they're stepping into, which is this YouTube golf ecosystem. And in our YouTube golf world, it's usually serious. It's usually by the books. It's usually whatever. Like most of the successful golf groups, even BobDoesSports, like they're not scripting their episodes. I'm not saying the Invitational was scripted, but just let me finish. They're not scripting their episodes. They're not, cheating. They're not playing not by the rules of golf. Like those are all things within YouTube golf that we're very, accustomed to. But if there was a reality show made about whatever, like these types of things happen in reality shows. These types of things would happen. They would create drama, and a reality show is much more about the entertaining content versus that entertaining content just being golf. And in the golf world, the entertaining content in this show was more the Luke Kwan sleeping in, the Meloian rangefinder, the Paige Brannick grass thing, like all of that. That's all the juice, really. The reason why it was so successful is because it also had the juice of it being a competitive golf series with $1 million on the line, especially the last episode. That was unbelievable. I could have watched that without any drama. Just the golf was really, really great. But I think still people's minds are so transfixed into like what we're used to in YouTube golf and not what this was actually intended to be, which was like equal parts serious YouTube golf to reality show. And I think that's, it's just, I think everyone has a different opinion. Some people would prefer to be more just serious golf, like, would prefer like good or someone to have put it on and it just be like serious stroke play with actual rules. I don't think that performs as well. I think having it the way it was brought that crowd, but it also brought a crowd who like would never just watch scratch golfers play serious golf because like they only really watch Sunday at the Masters anyways as it goes for serious golf, and they want entertainment and juice, and that's what this provided. It really brought in the BobDoesSports, the Barstool audience, which BobDoesSports is a pretty YouTube golf audience, but BobDoesSports has the most amount of non-traditional YouTube golf fans for sure, because they do things that non-traditional YouTube golfers do, like drinking challenges. So anyway, just thought that was an interesting take. Obviously not trying to harp on exactly what Yam said there. He goes back and kind of reiterates what he was saying, but it's just he echoed a point that I actually kind of had and thought was interesting myself. But anyway, we're going to jump over now, Brad Dalke interview, and then we're going to get to the update on Meloian and what he's doing. But this is, I think it's like a 10-minute segment that we're going to watch and react to because I thought it was pretty interesting. So let's get into it.
We got to rewind to hole number 9.
Okay.
Final round. Paige goes over to the ball, matting down the grass. Clearly against the rules, obviously. Said she didn't know that it was against the rules. Fair. I mean, if she didn't know it was against the rules, she didn't know it was against the rules.
I'm curious to hear your guys' takes on this. When Garrett's saying clearly against the rules, like one thing I've been trying to do is not make any definitive statements about rules or not, because I agree obviously with him, it's clearly against the rules of a professional golf event, but was this a professional golf event? Like this is like such an existential question of like, what really was this event? Because you had in the very first episode in like an hour, an extremely arbitrary rules decision by a non-rules official in Dave that kind of, to me, set the tone a little bit for this event, where it's like, kind of like all bets are off, like no holds barred. Like if Dave's going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of this event, you might be able to get away with a lot of stuff that you wouldn't be able to get away with in a normal golf event. And how many people maybe even thought that? Like how many people maybe even had in the back of their minds, like, I'm telling you, if you go and you watch a pure Barstool event, you're going to see people like who are intentionally trying to do stuff to bend rules and get away with stuff. And, you know, if they can get away with it, that's great. And if not, they get caught and it's funny. It's they, whatever. Like, I wonder how many people kind of had that in their mind and, you know, was it obviously against the rules? I don't know. And maybe when Paige was saying like, I didn't know I couldn't do this, like maybe Paige just thought, you know, this was the rules of YouTube golf. Of like, even like most YouTube golfers will like lift clean in place and play hazards laterally and all that kind of stuff. So like those aren't by the rules. Like you can't, most of the time you're not lift clean and placing, especially because a lot of people do it when it shouldn't be lift clean and placing. And then a lot of the time people play hazards as lateral or OB as lateral. Shouldn't do that. So anyway, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below.
Peter walks over to you in the cart and is like, hey, just want to let you know. Like, keep an eye on it. Like, don't need to say anything. Then Francis is like, I'm going to say something. Now, from Francis's perspective, if I'm Francis in this situation, obviously, and I've been told that, you know, I've never played competitive golf, I probably would be a little bit petty in the situation.
Yeah.
Like, and if I was.
Hand up. I mean, I like Paige. I've had a nice little back and forth rapport with her. Nothing to do with Paige. If anyone would have called me out like that on a tee box and then like 2 holes later gone completely against that and like done something that like if you played competitive golf you would have known, I would have been all over that. I'm not even a confrontational person, but like if I'm in competition, it's different. Like if I've played competitive sports my whole life, like you get me in like an actual like we're competing for this, like I'm gonna step on your throat. And like if I knew that was an angle I had, like I don't know. You can clearly tell I didn't grow up playing country club buttoned up golf because like I'm definitely more on the edge of like I'm gonna do even more than what Francis did. Like I would have lent into that I think so hard. So I just thought that was interesting because yeah, especially I think even the way they handled it was like a nicer way than some people might have if like you were trying to get an edge from it.
I was Francis in that situation, I would be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to say something.
Yeah.
And obviously went over, said something. It created this big ordeal. And then it was like bang, bang. It was like Paige is down on the green. I'm watching it. She's obviously in tears over the situation, really upset. And then all of a sudden, Mo just becomes the worst guy on the planet Earth. And like
Okay, so I've obviously watched this clip and, you know, preparing for this episode. I heard, I was like, where did that come from? The worst guy on planet Earth. Like that's an aggressive little statement there. I thought it's kind of funny. I obviously don't. I think he just meant in terms of like, you know, Mo started getting all this heat from people and it was like he was the most whatever. But that was a crazy statement.
I said in the last podcast, you would have thought all hell broke loose. But from your perspective, being a guy who's just trying to focus and win, what were you thinking?
It was just wild to me. I didn't know. So obviously Peter lets me know on number 9 after the hole. Kind of lets me know what was happening, and I told Francis obviously like, and the good thing, I mean, we won number 9. So I think it was even in the video. I told Francis like, hey, like we won the hole though. Like maybe we just keep an eye on them. You know, if they do go in the weeds again, maybe we just go kind of just keep a little closer eye. You know, maybe put a little to make sure they don't do anything else or whatever. And at first, I don't know if it really got shown much in the video, but at first Francis was like, yeah, that's a good idea. We won the hole. Doesn't really matter. You know, if we had tied the hole or lost that hole, then it something would have happened right then and there.
Right.
So at first, Francis was actually agreeing with me, like, yeah, let's just don't say anything, not cause any drama. It's fine. We won the hole. And then I could literally see his mind just circling for like a minute or two. And I think he immediately got in the mode like, Dave might do something about this.
He is a comedian too. And like he knows how to push buttons.
Yeah, he does. And I think fair play to him, like to Francis, it's like his mindset was if I tell Dave this, he might penalize him the hole. And it was a tied match. Like obviously a whole, you know, getting us a 1-up lead or something would be huge in that moment. So I could definitely see his mind circling a little bit. He finally set his mind on, yes, I'm saying something. Like they might get a penalty. And then Francis confronts them and you know, obviously that just on number 10 green, that was a whole commotion. It was. And we didn't see the video until the video came out. We didn't see Paige Matt down the grass, and it's definitely a penalty, which I think is it's tough. It's a tough situation because we've all played YouTube now, and if it was a normal YouTube video, who cares?
Yeah.
You know,
This is the point I was trying to make, is like, how many, like, did Paige not know it was a penalty because it was a YouTube video? And like in YouTube videos, maybe that's like something that nobody would really sweat about. It's interesting.
I mean, it's like, who really cares? We're doing like, if it was a 3v3 alternate shot on Good, it's like, if like, whatever, like it's a YouTube video. It's not that big of a deal, but obviously this is for $1 million.
Yeah.
And Paige she played D1 golf. She played competitive golf. Like I would like to think she would know that you're not allowed to do that, but I don't know. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. But then the whole Mo stuff, I genuinely didn't know what was going on with the Mo stuff until 11 green.
Yeah.
Because I was locked in. Like on 10 green, you know, Paige was crying, all that stuff was going on.
Really? Wait a second. I need to rewind. You didn't know until 11
I didn't
green?
know. I didn't know anything about Mo's happening until 11. green.
That is the definition of locked.
Yeah.
Because that was a crazy commotion.
Yeah, because number 10 green, the Paige stuff was happening, and she was crying and all that, and Beef ran our putt by like 12 feet. I think also because he was kind of losing focus because everything was happening. And then for me, I had to absolutely lock in on that putt because we would have lost the hole if I missed the putt.
Oof.
And I was able to make it. I was able to lock in, make the putt, and I kind of just told myself like, I'm not getting caught up in this.
This is part of the reason why Brad also deserves to win, is because like that's such a pro golfer move to be able to like tune out all of that. I actually watched the most recent Good Get episode where they did the gauntlet with Brad with one club, and Sean said that when Brad is playing his best, which he was in the Invitational, that he's like a top 5 golfer in the world. Sean said that. Sean Walsh said that, which like bold statement, but like I really think Brad is like, I mean, he's proven it obviously with his like junior golf stuff, but like, or his amateur golf stuff, but like, I don't know, man. I think everyone in the world is like just wanting to see Brad now go and try to like really lock in and play professional golf, because like he now has put himself in this opportunity. This is a complete sidebar, by the way, and I apologize, but like I think it's interesting. Brad has put himself in a position now where he has all this clout, he has all this like momentum behind him. He can absolutely get sponsors, invites into tournaments. Like he doesn't have to go play professional golf by grinding mini tours. Like he could for sure get exemptions into Corn Ferry Tour and PGA Tour events, just like Grant has, just like the Bryan Bros have. And like if he really locks in for those, like makes cut, comes top 5, comes top 10, like all of a sudden do we have like another Luke Clanton on our hands? Like it would just be cool to see. I don't know if he wants that, but like I think everyone on YouTube is like wanting him to do that now.
Because I'm the A player of this team. If I start playing bad, it's going to be a tough last 8 holes. Yeah. So I kind of told myself, like, I'm going to lock in. I don't care about the drama. I'm just going to continue to play golf the best I possibly can, and I'll just let all that settle itself out. And I was still thinking about the Paige stuff. I didn't know about the most stuff. So I don't hit the next tee shot. I didn't get the approach shot on 11, and then we get up there to the green, and that's when I found out. Like I was like, Paige was. I thought maybe it was still about Paige because she was still like kind of teary eyed, but then I hear someone say like, someone on the green say like Mo with slope. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, oh, Mo might have had his slope on back there. And that's when I found out. And again, I was trying to stay out of it. I just genuinely in that moment did not care. I just wanted to play golf the best I could. I kind of had Francis as my like, he was the one that was kind of fighting for like a penalty possibly. So I kind of had him, and I knew my role in that moment was just to play golf the best I can. So
smart.
I tried. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to get caught up in the drama. And obviously looking back at all of it now, it's a lot. And it was crazy how it was like back to back. Like there was no holes in between. It literally went straight from the Paige ordeal to straight to Mo. But in that moment, I literally had like no clue what was going on. Yeah. Like there was one point where I saw, like Brendan was showing.
That last episode really was crazy. Like I kind of kept going back in my head of like, did Dave kind of overhype this? Was it not actually like that crazy of a thing? And I just kept landing back on like, no, it really was, because for all of those things to happen, like the Paige thing, the Mo thing, the length of time that all lasted, and then Frankie knifing it over the green, it's like every single one of the members on that team did something crazy. Then you had everything with Beef and Brad and Francis, and just how their team was kind of like the underdog story, and they came together and the good guys won, and it was good versus evil, and it was like this whole thing. Just crazy.
When everyone the video on his camera or on his laptop, and like 20 people were gathered around the cart.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy.
And I was on the tee box just watching it. Like I knew that was going on, but I'm not going to get involved in that. So like, I just wanted to focus on what I was doing and focus on playing golf the best I could, because I knew the only chance that we had to win was if I really locked in and played welcome down the stretch.
Yeah, that's smart. That was your role on the team, and you filled that role.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, it was a little weird watching it unfolded, because now I've read a lot of the comments now too, and I want to say there's a lot of people very anti-Mo, they're fighting against Mo, and then there's a lot of people backing him up, and I've seen tons of screenshots, and I've not seen one time where the slope was on. So it's one of those things from our perspective. There's no way of really telling. No. It's just, Mo stood by his word. If he really, he believes he never had slope on, it's like Dave said in the video. You can't look at someone and say, hey, swear to God that you didn't have slope on. He does it, and then still be like, you had slope on in that moment. You just have to, you have to trust it. And I've still to this to the second, I haven't seen where he had the slope on. I would be curious to see if that ever happens. I know we are going to have Mo on the podcast, or I'm going to, and I'll interview him a little bit more about. They've been calling it Slopegate. Slopegate. It's been getting out of hand.
Any controversy ever, you just add a gate to the end of it.
Slope.
I think it's Slopegate. Wild.
So they go on to talk a little bit more about it. I'll let you guys go watch it if you want. Good Podcast. By the way, Good Podcast has just been killing it recently. I mean, they've only had 2 episodes of their comeback, but like they had, obviously the Internet Invitational, kind of like my channel, was like perfect timing to re-spark something. Like they started posting podcasts again. I started posting commentary again. But they're cruising with it, because they have this, they have Mo coming on. That was kind of my like little tease that I was going to bring up, is like the reason why Mo didn't post a video on his own channel is because he had said he was going to, and then he just didn't. It's because he's going on the Good Podcast, and he's going to kind of like share his side of the story for the first time then. So that's kind of exciting, really. Like it'll be exciting to kind of hear what he has to say. I really do think the drama is like settling on it, and like I think as time goes on, like Garrett was saying, like there is no proof he had it on, and there's tons of screenshots of it being off. So like if there's even one screenshot of him having it on, then obviously that would be very damning, but there's tons of him having it off, and it almost seems like there is more proof that he had it off than on, and you kind of just have to take his word for it. But it'll still be interesting to hear his take. But then they also just Garrett posted today that they have Grant in there, and he's like sitting in for a podcast, which is crazy. So very interesting. Good Podcast has been crushing it. And yeah, that's the update with Mo, him coming on to share his side of the story. That'll be very interesting to hear. But it's just, I think everyone kind of expected there to be more of a reaction from Good on this, especially because in the moment, like Bubby was kind of into it and whatever, but he had the story that I posted that I talked about in my last video. And I think them, like everyone, is kind of coming around to, like, as bad as it looked in the video in the moment, the more you dig into it after, and like you kind of just have to trust him. And it's tough to trust him, I think, for a lot of people, because of the fact that he had like semi-rules infractions that look like rules infractions potentially at the beginning of the videos, like the first couple episodes, and then people say he's done something good. But more just the fact that like you kind of have to trust him, because there's no proof that he did have it on, and there's semi-proof that at least at a lot of points he didn't have it on. So anyways, guys, comment your thoughts on all that down below. I thought those were 2 interesting developments and kind of stories to share. And I think this whole thing is like so over, but like it is cool to still discuss like these like evolution parts as 2 of the biggest groups talking about it and reflecting on it. This Internet Invitational is going to live forever. So it is. I'm excited for the next one. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.